Welcome back to Rise Entertainment 360. 1 in 4 families in the U.S. will experience loss of a pregnancy or an infant. And our first guest started the national nonprofit organization called Ryan's Divine Angels, which is dedicated to the prevention of infant loss through awareness, education, and research. Jameelah Davis, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
This sounds like such an important organization that you have created here. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, definitely. So we decided to start the foundation in honor of our daughter, Ryan. She passed away from SIDS, which is sudden infant death, at 4 months old. So we decided to start this foundation to help other families learn how to heal and also teach, the community how to support a grieving parent.
Well, since you are, it's very important for you to educate people. Please educate everyone on what sudden infant death syndrome is. SIDS.
So it's basically an unexplained death. The baby just stops breathing. And with the autopsy, most times, as my daughter did, it comes back clean. So we don't know exactly why she died, so they just call it SIDS. When they don't know what it is, that's what they call it.
So are there any things parents can do to prevent SIDS if they're not even sure why it happened?
There are different campaigns out there saying to keep the baby on their back, keep things out of the crib. But
that's a big one. I know a lot of people, they put the toys in there, they have the bumpers in there, they have all these blankets in there, but especially for an infant, they say it should just be the sheet and that's it.
Right, but unfortunately my daughter was, it was nothing around her. She was on her back and she still died.
Still, wow.
So that is one of the goals, is trying to figure out exactly what it is, because to tell parents that and then it still happens, that's not enough. So we definitely, as the foundation grows, we want to fund research and, raise awareness and just try to find a resolution.
And why is that important to you in founding this organization? Why was it so important for you to do?
Because to me, it's just not natural for a baby to die. Babies were not meant to pass away, just out of nowhere with no sickness, no problems. They were developing fine, and for them to just die, that's not okay. But we don't just focus on SIDS. We focus on miscarriage, stillbirth, infant death. It could be violence or an accident or anything like that. And because we can't prevent those things, we try to focus on the parents and the mental health and the well-being of the parents after loss.
Well, I mean, that is what I imagine to be one of the hardest things for someone to go through in their life.
Yeah.
What do you say to a parent? What can you do to console a parent who has gone through something like that?
So I wrote a blog about the top 5 things not to say to a grieving parent. But people will say, oh, you're young, you could try again, you could have another one. That's horrible to say. Or your baby's in a better place. And me and some of my angel mothers, we kind of joke well, if they're in a better place, then why don't you send your child too, if it's such a better place, and it's just the best thing to do is to just be there. There's really nothing that you can say to someone who lost their child. There's nothing you can say to make it better. There's nothing you can say to bring them back. So the best you can do is just, console them, check on them, and just show that you're there. Because I know when I lost my daughter, I was not really responsive to people. But as I got out of my grief, I remembered those people who checked on me. I remembered those people who stopped by just to see how I was doing. I remembered those people who stayed in contact with me, and that meant a lot to me. Because you can feel very, very alone. In that time of the intense grief. So
and I'm sure many parents slip into depression and other things, and anxiety and the stress levels to go. How were you able to pull yourself out of that?
Well, I go through it too, just like everybody else. But helping other people helps me to grieve. When you go through something like this, like I said, you feel very alone, but it helps when you know that you're not the only one. 900,000 cases a year of pregnancy loss, infant loss. Altogether, you're definitely not alone. So to hear all of those different stories, it helps me to grieve, because you can't compare losses, but I'm definitely grateful that my daughter went in peace and didn't, have to suffer at all, or no one hurt her or anything like that. So it definitely puts things into perspective,
Well, one of the things I think that gets overlooked sometimes is the fact that this can affect an entire family. It's not just the mother, the husband, the children, the siblings. It affects the entire family and sometimes the whole community. You know, can you talk to us a little bit about the toll that a loss has on the entire family?
Definitely. Well, the toll is even bigger because they're so forgotten and everyone's focused on the mother. So I know for my husband, it was really hard for him because there were not a lot of people. It was close family members that did not say a word to him. And then, like, my mom, she, of course, grieves the loss of her granddaughter. And everyone is trying to be there for the mom, but everyone has these feelings and they're not being tended to. So it really can affect the entire family. You don't know what to do. Like, I'm grieving, but I don't want you to feel bad. But then, you know, it's just it's kind of like I'm not going to say a lost cause, but it's just hard for the family to pull together. That's why it's so important for the outside community to kind of hone in and really show that support to that family, because you feel really helpless. Yeah.
And did you guys I know you guys create this organization, but for families who don't have an organization, is there anything you recommend that they do to help them remember, you know, like an annual day or something that they should do to help remember, keep that child's memory alive?
Well, we keep her memory alive every day. A lot of times the family will feel like we just don't need to talk about it anymore, don't bring it up. You know, say their name, acknowledge the fact that they were here or that they were on their way to being here. You know, just that really keeps the memory alive. I know me and my husband, we talk about how she would have been. For her birthday every year, we go and do something, some type of activity that she would have liked to do at that age. So, like, we might have did a pumpkin patch or go to the aquarium. Like, we pick different things that she would have wanted to do at that time. And we have a 3-year-old right now. So, of course, he gets to enjoy it, too. And he knows who his sister is because we talk about her. Her pictures are on the wall. You know, we don't pack it all away like she didn't exist. She had mail. She had a social security number. She had clothes. She had belongings. You know, she was a person. So we're not going to act like she wasn't here anymore.
That's beautiful. That's a great way, like you said, just to keep the memory alive. And another way you all are doing that is through your organization. And you guys have a big event coming up this weekend, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that this Sunday.
It's our second annual Angel Mothers Brunch. The first brunch we had was in Atlanta, and that one sold out.
Wow.
We didn't expect it, but it did. So with that momentum and the support and the feedback that we got, we decided to bring it to New York. So every Mother's Day, well, every Sunday before Mother's Day, we'll be hosting the event in a different city.
Oh,
so
awesome.
On Sunday, we're going to be in Brooklyn at Diker Beach Golf Course. And it's going to be an event. Basically, the Angel Mothers Brunch is an event where we uplift and celebrate parents, you know, just for their courage to wake up every day and keep going. So we'll have a panel discussion, which is going to be moderated by Health Magazine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's exciting. And we have different people in the pregnancy and infant loss community coming and just sharing their testimony, building people up. We'll do Q&A and just have that dialogue about grief. And, like, how do you overcome it? How do you get to that point? It's basically to show families that you don't have to be depressed. You can still have a life after loss, and it's okay to have a life after loss, because I think a lot of us feel guilty for moving on after our child dies. But I really feel like our child would want us to be happy. They wouldn't want us to be here sad and depressed.
Right.
So
would you say this event is for people who have experienced loss, or are they inviting others as well?
It's for everybody.
Okay.
I had a lot of people at the Atlanta event, a lot of people who hadn't even had a child or lost a child, but they got so much out of it because they learned how to be there. You know, they were like, well, I didn't know that was something that I shouldn't have said. Like, thank you for kind of elaborating on how you can be there for someone else. I think, well, October is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month, and a lot of people don't know that, because it's also with breast cancer awareness and everything like that. And I think the world knows how to stand behind someone who's, you know, a breast cancer survivor or patient, because the whole world is wearing their pink socks, they're rocking the ribbon. You know, you feel that support, you feel like you can get through it. And that's because the conversation is happening. There's no conversation really happening. Like, a little bit here and there, people are starting to talk about their experience, but the world doesn't really know how to be there for someone who's lost a child or a pregnancy. So that's why they don't talk about it. That's why they don't come out and talk about it.
Well, you're helping people come out and talk about it just by having the organization, which is a great thing. And I think it's nice that you're having celebrities help out too. Talk about your surprise guest this year.
So we have Yandy Smith Harris from Love and Hip Hop New York. She's coming. She is a big supporter of the cause because she's had a lot of friends and family who've experienced it. This past season on Love and Hip Hop, Lil Mo and Remy Ma both experienced loss in a short amount of time. And also, I believe Juju as well had issues with fertility and things like that. So it's something that's very dear to her. So she wanted to come and be a part and just kind of speak to everyone there, let them know that they're supported, that they can get through it, and just give some, you know, inspirational words to them.
That's beautiful. It's a beautiful organization. Thank you so much for coming. And I want to make sure people know where they can get tickets, because there's still some tickets available. Yes.
So our website is ryansdivineangels.org. And once you go to the website, there'll be a big banner where you can buy tickets. Right now we have free tickets still available because we had some people donate and sponsor families to go. So there's a limited amount of tickets still available for free for people to attend.
All right, Jameelah Davis, thank you so much for joining us. And good luck with the event this weekend.
Thank you.
And Arise 360, we'll be right back.